Hi, this is Rory Block, and you're watching Public Music, where music history unfolds.
Rory Block has been called a national treasure, a living landmark, one of the greatest acoustic blues artists alive today. She has said when she plays and sings the blues, she goes away to another place, to another world, maybe back to the Mississippi Delta to wrestle with the ghosts, shadows, and legends that inspire her.
Standing at the crossroad, I tried to flag it right.
Her haunting guitar and vocal style echo the Delta, but her love of the blues began a long way from Mississippi, in the urban avenues of Greenwich Village.
Well, I really just feel like I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, that there was an acoustic music revival that was going on. It also happened that my dad was into acoustic music and into roots music, and in his sandal shop, he had a custom-made leather business. Right around the beginning of the 60s, a lot of musicians gathered, great musicians, people like Bob Dylan, people like Joan Baez came by. Bob Dylan, I remember walking in one day, I must have been around 12, and my dad was sitting there with this really interesting guy with a little hat on, and it later turned out that was Bob Dylan. They used to have these huge jam sessions on Sundays, and people would simply stand around it, like all the country musicians would be in one little pack watching, Roger Sprung and Frank Wakefield and David Grisman, and they'd all be in the bluegrass circle, and they would be packed, and then there'd be the blues circle, and it would be Stephen Grossman. That's how I met Stephen Grossman in 1964 when I was 14, and I just was drawn to the sound. I knew about the beautiful old country music, but I didn't know about the old blues as much, and I heard him playing ragtime guitar, and I went, wow. And I listened to that, and I got bitten, as you said, an epiphany. That was it. It was blues.
Standing at the crossroad, I tried to flag it right. Well, standing at the crossroad, I tried to flag it right.
And so at age 15, Rory Block, Stephen Grossman, and a few friends hit the road. She dropped out of 10th grade and began her work on her PhD in blues.
He knew blues masters. He would take me to the Bronx, and we would hang out with Reverend Gary Davis. He was in with the crowd of people that were rediscovering blues masters, and we met Mississippi John Hurt, Skip James. We spent a good amount of time with Son House. He was my main mentor. He was really the guy. I mean, when we sat together, he said that he taught Robert Johnson how to play guitar, and I just thought, this guy is a blues god.
Well, the man I love took from my best friend. Son, you got lucky, stolen back again. You better come on in my kitchen, where it's going to be raining.
First of all, to backtrack, in 1964, when I started playing blues, there was zero potential of having a commercial career. And I was repeatedly discouraged, and people were always saying, that's fine and dandy, but no record company will sign you if that's what you do And they were always saying, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you can't do blues. It's a curiosity, that's where it ends. So being discouraged like that, I tried a couple of other things, and then I always came back to my greatest love.
Oh, can't you hear that wind howling? Can't you hear the wind howling? You better come on in my kitchen. Well, it's going to be raining outdoors.
Having given up on trying to record something commercial, she made an album for Rounder Records called High Heel Blues. Produced by John Sebastian, it got rave reviews. Rolling Stone called it some of the most singular and affecting country blues any one man or woman, black or white, old or young, has cut in recent years.
Well, it's going to be raining outdoors.
It comes around to, at some point when I was with Rounder Records, I said, do you think I should make a radio-friendly album? Do you think I should, you know, where should we go with the next album? Because I've got 14 CDs on Rounder Records alone. And they said, don't change, the charts are coming to you. And I thought, that's the most beautiful thing a record company could say to an artist is, don't, you know, the charts are coming to you. So I just felt like, I felt empowered because they said, don't worry about that, make a record that you think is beautiful.
If I had possession of yesterday.
She went on to make more than 20 albums for Rounder. Among her many awards, she won the W.C. Handy Award 4 times in a row, twice as Best Acoustical Artist and twice as Best Acoustical Album.
No, I wouldn't have no right to pray.
Recently, while working on an album of Robert Johnson's songs, Rory got an unexpected, life-affirming phone call. Apparently, Robert Johnson's grandson wanted to talk with her about her music. She met with the family, and they said when they heard Rory play the blues, it was as if Robert Johnson was alive again.
And I went to the mountain, far my eyes could see. Now my man's got another woman, lonesome blues got me. Said I rolled and I jumped.
Rory Block has spent her life preserving the Delta blues tradition and bringing it to life for a 21st century audience. Discover why Rory centered her life on the blues. Visit the Public Music website to hear the music and the story of this powerful creative force.
It just that it's multi-dimensional, and I never feel like it never leaves me wanting more. It always offers more. You know, so for me, it's ever unfolding, and that's what I love so deeply about it.